I don't think I ever really kissed any boys. I think my tongue had just been punching their tongues. But as soon as you loved me, all my callous went away. My hands so soft it hurt to pray. You picked me up at my Catholic college, and I'd sleep for hours till we reached your house. The first time in my life I'd ever rested. The first time I didn't have to play a role I'd never wanted to get. That's the medicine it is to be finally seen by someone. You'd point to my chest and say, "What just broke?" I'd throw my body in the river, but you'd say my name right, and I'd become a stone that skipped. Do you remember the first record where we didn't have to change the pronouns to sing along? We'd gone so many years without music that knew us, music that knew you, could arch your back, and I'd have proof that the earth was round. Bless who we were then. Bless who we still are. My straight friends tease me because all my best friends are my ex-loves, but a wise heart told me it's the most tender part of queerness, how we've all lost so much family. When we find people we call family, we'll do almost anything to not let go. Thank goodness for that ice storm that trapped us in that cheap hotel where I drank an entire bottle of something awful and finally told you I loved you since we were 15, playing basketball under a flickering streetlight beside the poorest part of the sea. The ice storm froze the world outside into a photograph of the past. Well, I kneeled down and kissed my future onto your kneecaps. 2 decades talking to Jesus. That was the first time I heard him talk back. Months later, church bells ringing through my dorm room. I wrote my senior thesis about you and told no one how hard I was praying to stop hiding myself in metaphor, to one day find the courage to carve the truth into the chapel door. Holy were all the hours I spent picking out my outfit. The night you took me to my first queer bar in Portland, Maine, the biggest city I'd ever walked through. I was so excited and so scared that we'd be spotted or killed on our way inside. We sat in the parking lot forever till I changed my mind and you drove me home, mascara pouring down my brand new boy shirt. I never guessed there'd come a time like the winter we traveled north to visit your mother. Asleep when we arrived after midnight, she lit our room with candles and rested a joint in the center of the bed. Neither of us were any good at smoking, but we pulled her welcome into our lungs like it was 100 years of oxygen. Up until then, we didn't know anyone in the whole world who would celebrate us, wiping the steam from the glass, to see each other blushing in the same bathroom mirror in the morning. I was thinking about that last May when I was invited back to my Catholic college for the first time. You sitting in the front row beside the nuns and the school president and the teacher who had given me an A on the manuscript I'd been too afraid to write your name in. Mandy, I know so much has not gotten better. I know so much has not gotten easier, but that moment knocked the wind out of me. Time finally being the kind of father we all deserve. The world finally turning its porch light on for us. It was so bright. I could feel the freckles on my 15-year-old face warming in its glow. I could feel hope traveling back in time to find us, to whisper into our chests, there will be music for you one day. Thank you. This is to the men catcalling my girlfriend while I'm walking beside her. One of the biggest perks to looking the way I do is that I virtually never have to listen to someone like you suck your own dick out loud while telling yourself, I am what you're swallowing. How do you not know fail is what you do every time you think you can ace manhood with a thesis of, let me get a look at that ass, baby doll. Congratulations on being another dude who got his cat calls at Toys R Us, you unoriginal hand-me-down of mediocrity. You mosquito biting your own balls in a swamp of your mother's regret. I always just want to finish the show there. Yes, I know it's low to call even assholes names, but any feminist who has ever taken the high road will tell you the high road gets backed up. And sometimes you need to take a detour straight to the belly of uncensored rage. Sometimes we get tired of seeing people's humanity in moments when they're outright refusing to show us their humanity. And so far, all you've shown me is that your voice box is a Rubik's Cube you couldn't get right. Even if you peel the fucking stickers off, I don't think you could get all sides clear on why you did not own the air. Or why not everyone takes a bullet as a compliment. And yeah, even a hey baby can spiral like a bullet if it's aimed at someone who is not in fact your baby. Here's a hint. If women have to play dead to walk by your doorstep, you might want to do some work on why that turns you on. You might want to do some work on why your flinch and startle makes you think you are in charge more than it makes you realize your own power outage. This world is dark with men blowing themselves out. Men burying their own spines in the weight of what they think is theirs to take, to own, to muzzle, to drag into the ditch. Men who don't get what they want then shout the word bitch across the street like they're 2 years old throwing a tantrum with their baby diapers on, like they think their dick is a golden ticket to the Willy Wonka factory and they can't imagine anyone would have an intolerance to hey, sugar. So they call you a slut or a whore or a dyke. Way to go, you get the last one right. Somebody get him a tote bag. Somebody get some construction paper and make him a certificate. Somebody get him something quick before he feels inadequate all over a Santa Barbara sorority house, before he lines up women like pretty glass bottles and starts shooting off more than his mouth. Seriously, if you think you are any different than a boy who would write a manifesto to do everything in his power to destroy everything he cannot have, then prove it by being the kind of man who isn't killing time, watching his own dignity play dead, whose heartbeat doesn't quicken with the quickening of a woman's footsteps, who has enough self-respect to not hang himself out the window of his fucking car. It is not Rubik's Cube hard to keep your mouth shut. Just keep your mouth shut. You can do it, man. I know you can. It isn't that you don't like boys. It's that you only like boys you want to be. David with his jaw carved out of the side of a cliff. Malcolm, who doesn't have secrets, just stories he owes no one. Chris, the basketball hero who has a tick. He blinks 15 times when he makes a shot. You spend hours blinking in the mirror, wishing you could be a star like him. Mary Levine calls you a dyke, and you don't have the language to tell her she's wrong and right. So you just show up to her house, promising to paint your fingernails red with what will gush from her busted face if she ever says it again. You're in the 7th grade. You don't even know you want a girlfriend. You still believe too much in the people who believe in Jesus to even feel that desire through its health threat. You just want to kick your desk on the way to the principal's office, slouch in detention, want to cut your hair and spit out whatever you don't want in your mouth, your own name even, skirting around the truth. You don't yet know the boys are building their confidence on stolen land, but you do worry the girls might be occupied with things you will never understand, won't ever be good at. You take one pretty step and feel like you're pouring bubbles into your own bloodbath. You don't want a soft death. You want a hard life that is your life. Your life in the locker room that doesn't stop demanding you keep your eyes on the floor. Your life at the prom, where you run home in a snowstorm, chucking your last pair of heels in a snowbank, realizing you are the only boy you ever wanted to tear your dress off for. Your life the first Christmas you spend alone, the years you learn to build your family out of scratch. Your life when someone drags you from a restroom by the collar of your coat. Your life every time airport security screams pink or blue, trying to figure out what machine setting to run you through, choosing your life and how that made you into someone who now often finds it easy to explain your gender by saying you are happiest on the road when you're not here or there but in between. The yellow line running down the center of it all like a goddamn sunbeam. Your name is not a song you will sing under your breath. I promise your pronouns haven't even been invented yet. You're gonna shave your head and drive through Texas. You're gonna kill your own God so you can fall in love for the first time. They're going to keep telling you your heartbeat is a pre-existing condition. They're going to keep telling you you are a crime of nature. And you're going to look at all your options and choose conviction, choose to carve your own heart out of the side of a cliff, choose to spend your whole life telling secrets you owe no one to everyone till there isn't anyone who can insult you by calling you what you are, you holy blinking star, you highway streak of lights, falling over and over for your hard life, your perfect life, your sweet and beautiful life. Thanks. The nutritionist said I should eat root vegetables. Said if I could get down 13 turnips a day, I would be grounded, rooted. Said my head would not keep flying away to where the darkness lives. The psychic told me my heart carries too much weight. So for $20, she'd tell me what to do. I handed her the 20. She said, stop worrying, darling. You will find a good man soon. The first psychotherapist said I should spend 3 hours a day sitting in a dark closet with my eyes closed and my ears plugged. I tried it once, but couldn't stop thinking about how gay it was to be sitting in the closet. The yogi told me to stretch everything but the truth, said to focus on the out-breath, said everyone finds happiness if they can care more about what they give than what they get. The pharmacist said Klonopin, Lamictal, lithium, Xanax. The doctor said an antipsychotic might help me forget what the trauma said. The trauma said, don't write this poem. Nobody wants to hear you cry about the grief inside your bones. But my bones said, Tyler Clemente dove into the Hudson River convinced he was entirely alone. My bones said, write the poem. To the lamplight, considering the riverbed, to the chandelier of your faith hanging by a thread, to every day you cannot get out of bed, to the bullseye of your wrist, to anyone who has ever wanted to die. I have been told sometimes the most healing thing we can do is remind ourselves over and over and over, other people feel this too. The tomorrow that has come and gone and it has not gotten better. When you are half finished writing that letter to your mother that says, I swear to God I tried, but when I thought I'd hit bottom, it started hitting back. There is no bruise. Like the bruise, loneliness kicks into the spine. So let me tell you, I know there were days when it looks like the whole world is dancing in the streets while you break down like the doors of their looted buildings. You are not alone in wondering who will be convicted of the crime of insisting you keep loading your grief into the chamber of your shame. You are not weak just because your heart feels so heavy. I have never met a heavy heart that wasn't a phone booth with a red cape inside. Some people will never understand the kind of superpower it takes for some people to just walk outside some days. I know my smile looks like a gutter on a falling house, but my hands are always holding tight to the ripcord of believing a life can be rich like the soil, can make food of decay, turn wound into highway, pick me up in a truck with that bumper sticker that says it is no measure of good health to be well adjusted to a sick society. I have never trusted anyone with a pullback bow on my spine the way I trust the ones who come undone at the throat, screaming for their pulse to find the fight to pound. 4 nights before Tyler Clemente jumped from the George Washington Bridge, I was sitting in my hotel room in my own town, calculating exactly what I had to swallow to keep a bottle of sleeping pills down. What I know about living is the pain is never just ours. Every time I hurt, I know the wound is an echo, so I keep listening for the moment when the grief becomes a window, when I can see what I couldn't see before through the glass of my most battered dream. I watched a dandelion lose its mind in the wind, and when it did, it scattered 1,000 seeds. So the next time I tell you how easily I come out of my skin, don't try to put me back in. Just say, here we are, together at the window, aching for it to all get better, but knowing there is a chance our hearts may have only just skinned their knees, knowing there is a chance the worst day might still be coming. Let me say right now, for the record, I am still gonna be here, asking this world to dance, even if it keeps stepping on my holy feet. You stay here with me, okay? You stay here with me, raising your bite against the bitter dark, your bright longing, your brilliant fist of loss, friend. If the only thing we have to gain in staying is each other, my God, that is plenty. My God, that is enough. My God, that is so much for the light to give. Each of us at each other's backs, whispering over and over and over, live, live, live. Thank you. I have a few happy friends. I ask them about being happy the same way my high school friends ask me about being gay. So what do you people do exactly? How do you do it? Their answers are never as freaky as I would hope. Almost always they answer God or booze. One I don't tolerate, the other I'm told doesn't tolerate me. I'm fascinated with this idea of getting high on life. I imagine people on their backs in fields of lilacs, snorting the lines the planes leave in the sky, waking with honeymoons in their bloodstream. Me, I often feel like I'm the vaccine for goosebumps. So low, I flip through old dictionaries where gay still means happy, and I say, well, if it were 1822, I'd be like the happiest. I can't remember the last time someone commented on my sunny disposition. That doesn't mean I'm not trying to juice the sun for every holy drop. I know it is its own injury. Spending too much of your life just holding yourself together. I've known that since the first time I tried to die. I was too ashamed to go back and get the stitches out on time. So the stitches scarred as badly as the wound. It's the one part of me I'll never stop thinking ugly. 20 tiny holes framing a would-be flat line I still can't look at without seeing the light going out in the tunnels of my best friend's eyes while she watched the doctor's needle close the letter I'd sworn to never send. The last, and I mean the last time, I tried to return myself to sender was a year ago this June. After 5 months so sick, I was certain my stomach would never know a butterfly again. I got so low I had to look up to see rock bottom, and ghosted by hope, I got in my car and started driving towards a dead end, a cliff that had been my backup plan if ever the pain got stronger than I am. Now, I gotta let you know this is a true story. On my way to the end that day, I was already half gone, clumps of my own hair on the dashboard from me failing to weed the hell from my mind. I was sobbing and snaking around my own neck when I looked up from the steering wheel and saw a stranger above me on the overpass, holding on to the wrong side of the rail with one hand, his arm taut as a kite string, about to lift his body into the air and fly into 4 rows of traffic. This stranger and I had the same idea, but as soon as I saw him, my eyes locked on him like 2 screeching red lights that wouldn't stop begging, stop, stop, stop. I was the last car to pass before the fire trucks and ambulances raced to clot the vein of traffic, to tourniquet the road, so when the man jumped, his body wouldn't graveyard the windshield of someone driving home with their baby in the back seat. I watched rescue workers run to try to talk him off the ledge while I shot out of my car behind the overpass and circled in the madness of being a twister, praying for someone's son to not go down, pacing in the mind mangle of being someone on my way to die, stopping to ask somebody else not to. I'll never know if he saw me, but I was haunting the ground, punching my hands into the tornado of my grief to grab every piece of my lost mind so I could get my footing long enough to beg the air beneath this man to catch him like a snowflake on the tongue, a tongue that might also whisper, sweet, sweet soul, heaven is in under direction. Please don't make gravity play God. I've heard there were fields, acres of lilacs like petaled purple hearts blooming only to pull us through. And all you have to do is haul your name into a canyon and hear someone else's name echo back. Never in my life did I want more to keep my blood blue, did I want more to live than when I looked up and saw myself and someone else trying to become the sky. I didn't even know him, but I know it would have killed me to watch him die. So when at 12:31 he decided not to, when he came down, when the road opened, I did too. My whole heart, my whole mind went home with living proof of what I'd only before known in theory, that we are truly not alone in this, that our veins are absolutely strings tied to other people's kites, that my butterflies aren't gone, they're just flying around in someone else's belly. Sometimes I pray right now they're with that stranger. I pray he's goosebumped by a mountain range of joy. I pray he's high on the long line rivered across the country of his open palm, held out the window while driving and singing along to a stranger's favorite song. he suddenly knows all the words to, but doesn't know why. After the wound of us, scabbed into polite text, after we charmed each other enough to wonder if we'd made a mistake, you invited me to your new apartment on a night each of us was suffering from the unbearable loneliness of sanity. You had moved to your favorite building in the city, an almost castle, historic and grand, wrapped with a century of ivy. When you opened the door, I was startled by the beauty of what could be made without me. A library of books organized by color, Patti Smith hanging like a Christ above the checkered tile, a row of silver knives you'd finally saved enough to buy, shining on your kitchen's hand. You sliced heirloom tomatoes and made a dressing from scratch, while I eyed the cowhide rug whose murder I had never allowed in our house. But here, almost free, almost alive. After dinner, a song came on the stereo that had been sent to me by another woman who wore the same red lipstick as you, but who wasn't like you. Chain-smoking bartender reaching for the rifle when the bar fight breaks out. Tattoos you told the artist to scar on purpose because you couldn't let go of the guilt of being 800 miles away when New Orleans drowned. Pores sweating bourbon in the yoga class you cursed through. I called you a hipster once, and you flattened every bike tire in the town with your fuck no. The hours passed smooth as the wine we downed, like we were pouring the blood back into our bodies. I could have driven home, but we both said I shouldn't. I crawled into the side of the bed I knew no one had been. Your grief, always a marathon, to the rest of the world's sprint. I ran my hands along the stitch of your pillow while you spoke about the vines covering the windows. Because the building is historic, the ivy is too, you said. I'm not allowed to cut it down. So in the spring, when the leaves grow in, the house is dark as midnight. But in the winter, when they die, the house is full of light. Your eyes started closing as they always had before mine. 3 hours I lay awake, your shoulder kissing my shoulder. 3 hours I stared at the window, loving you, then turned towards your ear and whispered that I had to go. You uncurled from a dream and said, "Okay, honey." And I went to wherever the ivy goes in the winter, and for the same reason.